especiales de lo que ella dice. Telma habla español, así que va a tratar un poquito tu español hoy.
I will.
You
That's
know.
for you.
Así que estamos brevemente aquí con Telma Gómez, que nos va a hablar, nos va a decir de su sobrevivencia después de sufrir violencia doméstica. Y a todas ustedes, mujeres y hombres, porque es parejo, también los hombres sufren violencia doméstica. There are gentlemen out there, there are men who do suffer abuse in their home as well. So there's always a stereotype that is only women.
That's
Am
true.
I correct?
You're right.
There's the stereotype that is only women. Well, yeah, I hate to say that it's normal because it isn't normal.
And it's not.
It's not. It's not normal at all. But we see more abuse in a female.
Correct.
Okay, so Thelma is a survivor. She's a strong woman.
Thank
So
you.
she's here and she's gonna testify today. She's gonna testify because it's Sunday.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so
Happy
this is
Sunday.
gonna be like
Our
hey,
worship service. Amen.
you know, this is gonna be our service here today. So we are going to talk about serious matters. We are laughing right now, yes, but this is a serious issue. Personally, thankfully, I haven't suffered that, but I do know family members, close friends, and loved ones who have. So it's a very sensitive subject, and this is how and why I extended an invitation to you, you know, because we need to speak out loud. A lot of people like to be laughing out loud. Well, guess what? It's time to speak out loud.
Yes.
Llegó el momento de hablar fuerte y denunciar los abusos domésticos, porque no es cosa normal. Sí, muchas personas creen que es normal porque miran al papá, al hermano, al tío, al vecino romperle la cara a una mujer, a su mujer, y no es correcto. Y no solo es físico, pero no me voy a apresurar, vamos a hablar paulatinamente. Y aquellos que tienen preguntas también podrán llamar a hacer preguntas. I will open the line for some phone calls and I will provide you with the call number, okay? You're gonna get the phone call. So on that note, those of you out there who are listening, please message someone who you know is possibly suffering this injustice, so that woman or that man can listen in and probably find some courage in what to do in regards to this, okay? Because it isn't normal. It's not normal at all to live in that type of environment. So message your cousin, your mama, your friend, your next door neighbor, knock on the door, give them the link. Whichever means necessary, we have to get involved as a society.
Yes.
Because I think we have a huge fault as a society. There's a saying in Spanish, nadie se mete entre marido y mujer. I refuse to believe that. No one gets in between a man and a woman, and that is meaning a relationship.
Right.
I refuse to live by that code.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You see something wrong, do something about it. Because if you see a man abusing a female, or vice versa, the female abusing the man, and you don't say anything about it, you're equally culpable. You are equally guilty by allowing that to carry on. Okay, that is my personal opinion
I
in the
agree.
matter,
I agree.
right? So I think it's about time for us to really start the serious conversation,
Yes.
you know, and I want to thank you in advance for coming this afternoon. It's completely
Yes.
wet out there, you know. Umbrellas are not doing any justice. So Grace,
No.
you are blessed that you're indoors. Those of us who had to make it here, let me
It was
tell
a
you,
struggle.
that umbrella is only covering your head. So Thelma is in the building. We are gonna speak to her in regards to her surviving domestic abuse, and she will be the one letting us know in detail what type of abuse that was. Because keep in mind, domestic abuse is not only physical, okay? There's so many ways that another person is abusing you, and a lot of times the person who's abused does not even see that they are being mentally abused, or in other cases possibly verbally abused. So Thelma, good afternoon once again.
Good
And
afternoon.
let's go ahead and talk about this matter. The topic of the day is domestic violence. And some people who don't mind calendars and don't look at things that are celebrated, I didn't say it earlier because I wanted to say it once you were online, you were right here with me in the studio. This is the month that is also awareness for domestic violence,
Right.
you know, and is very, how should I say it? It's very meticulous how is introduced within the month of love.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like if you
Yes.
think about it, you really pay attention, and wow, you know, it's strategically right in the same month, okay? Because again, abuse is not love.
Abuse is not. It's not love.
So can you tell us about your experience? I have some questions that had been written,
Yes.
okay, online directly on my inbox. But first, I want you to let the public know and share with myself and Grace what type of domestic violence did you abuse that you had to experience.
Well, one thing I will say is that you never imagine yourself being in an abusive relationship. So when you are faced with it, it's really, really shocking for your emotional well-being, for your psyche. So you tend to you tend to kind of be paralyzed when you experience it for the first time. So a lot of the times, I've always said before I was in my experience and what I went through was that before a man ever hits you, he has already begun to abuse you. Men will begin with disrespecting you, calling you names, lying to you. Sometimes it can be coupled with infidelities. Just forms of coercive forms of manipulation. And you will begin to feel like something isn't right. But a lot of the times when these qualities or behaviors, I will call them behaviors, tend to come to the surface, it's usually when the woman is in a position where she's compromised. And when I say that she's compromised, I mean to say that she is in a position where she can't easily leave. Maybe it's because of children. Maybe it's because of, she's home now. He probably, in conditioning her, because they usually have a motive and they usually know who they target, they usually position the woman or condition the woman to depend on them. So when this happens, he knows he's already in a place where he has manipulated the situation so that he can control her and abuse her. So that's how that works. And abuse takes many forms. It can be verbal, emotional, psychological, and ultimately the worst, which is physical abuse. And in my situation, I have experienced all forms of abuse. However, I feel that I am one of the lucky ones because I didn't lose my life to it. I was able to get away. I was able to escape.
Wow. In just a few minutes, you gave us so much, and a strong testimony on what abuse is. Para ustedes, aquellos que no entienden directamente todo lo que Thelma dice, les voy a estar dando un resumen de lo más esencial de lo que ella está diciendo. Ella dice de que un abuso doméstico empieza paulatinamente. Es una manera empieza con infidelidades, manipulaciones, y ese hombre estratégicamente posiciona a esa mujer a un nivel donde ella se siente atrapada. ¿Será porque tengan hijos? ¿Será porque quizás no esté proveyendo financieramente al hogar, etcétera? Pero de ninguna manera es correcto dejarse manipular. Y como dice Thelma, hay varias maneras de padecer de una violencia doméstica. No solo es físico, empieza con lo verbal, está lo mental, con las manipulaciones, etcétera. Y lo peor de todo es cuando llega al punto de el golpe. Porque dice Telma, cuando ya un hombre te levanta la mano es porque ya el abuso había empezado hace mucho. Ya ese es la culminación, es lo último que te tiene que hacer, pues, es darte ese golpe. So, Telma, one of the questions that I was posed for you is someone asking, how long were you in this environment? How long? How many years do you endure this domestic abuse?
Well, in this relationship, in this last relationship, it was 9 years.
Did you recognize that you were being abused? And do you mind me asking what type of abuse? Was it all the ones we spoke about, or it was a specific type of abuse that your husband had on you?
It was all the ones that I mentioned. And when I recognized it, it was like really deep into it. Why? Because I am not the typical abuse victim. I'm very strong, very articulate. I can fend for myself. I have my own place, my own car. I make a great salary. I take care of my children. So I'm not the typical victim. So I didn't see myself as a victim. And so anytime I was presented with abuse or with behaviors that did not respect my boundaries or my values, I fought back. So because I was fighting back, I didn't necessarily realize that I was being victimized. I should not be surviving in my marriage. I should not be surviving in my home. I should not be nursing wounds on my body to hide them from my children. So that's when I began to realize something is very wrong. And when I began to do my own research to kind of figure out how did I get into this and how do I get myself out of it, because a lot of the times these type of men will tell you, I'm abusing you, it's your fault, you made me angry, you made me do this, you made me do that. I realized and learned that abuse is a learned behavior. This is something that an abuser has learned from a child at home, seeing his parents fight or his caregivers. This is not your fault. So it is best for people who find themselves in this situation to not be brainwashed and not be manipulated. Abuse is never okay, and it is never your fault.
Wow. Here we are all learning at the same time as we go. Acaba de decir Telma unas cosas tan importantes y esenciales. El abuso es algo que en muchas veces es algo que se aprende. Es algo que se aprende de los padres, sea de tu padre o de tu madre. Es un comportamiento aprendido porque es algo que ya esa persona lo tiene muy dentro de sí y no es muy fácil reconocerlo, pero ella le tomó más de 9 años en esta relación, estuvo en esta relación por más de 9 años, donde ella no es la mujer típica, y es muy triste decir típica, ¿verdad? Pero desafortunadamente en el diccionario esas son las palabras que existen. No es una mujer típica que cualquiera creería de que fuese abusada. Es una mujer con buen trabajo, es una mujer que tenía su apartamento, ya tenía una vida hecha antes de su segundo esposo, ya tenía una vida hecha antes que él tenía su carrera. La cosa es que eso es lo que es el abuso. No podemos decir que es la mujer que no tuvo estudio, no es la mujer que no salió de un pueblo, no es la mujer que simplemente tenga una ignorancia educativa, porque la palabra ignorante, todos somos ignorantes y yo tengo mucho cuidado cuando la uso. Todos somos ignorantes, nadie sabemos todo en esta tierra. Entonces hay que siempre tener cuidado en el uso de la palabra. I always say we have to be very careful using the word ignorance.
I totally
you know, because
agree.
we all ignorant.
Ignorant in some areas.
We all ignorant in many areas. We don't know everything. You know, so I'm one that I don't have any problem saying when I am ignorant to a subject. The subject is not strange to me. Why? Because I know a lot of people who have gone through it. But personally, there are things that I like to learn myself. So, hello, you are aware of your surroundings,
Absolutely.
your relationships. When you see it coming, then you know what to do.
Right.
Let me go with something that someone had asked prior. Do you think it's abuse when the man is telling a female what to wear, what not to wear, and who to hang out with?
That's interesting. That's a very interesting question. I can't call that abuse.
This
You
is the
know,
beginning of control.
it is control. It is definitely control, and those are behaviors that you want to be mindful of in relationships. We are supposed to have autonomy. What that means is self agency. We are created to be ourselves and to express ourselves freely. So when you come into a relationship and the person is trying to control you, these are red flags that we have to pay attention to. And a lot of times when people get into abusive relationships, whether it's not even physical, it can be verbal, emotional, psychological, financial, sex, because sexual abuse still happens in marriages, okay? When there's abuse, there's all forms of abuse. And we have to be mindful that our instincts, the God in us, does speak to us and does warn us when we encounter these people, these manipulators, these abusive people. So we have to trust our instincts. And when we see something like red flags, a little bit of control, a little bit of lying, our antennas are supposed to go up with, maybe I shouldn't be in a relationship with this person, or maybe I should back up a little bit, or maybe I should give myself a little space to observe some more of this person's character and behavior.
Okay, so the question I was posed now leads me to ask, but before that, let me just go ahead and give a brief resume. Hubo una pregunta que se me mandó en inbox para Thelma. Si el hombre que le dice a su pareja, novia, cónyuge, esposa, que le dice qué ponerse, qué no ponerse, quiénes pueden ser sus amistades o apartar a esa persona de sus amistades, si eso es abuso. Pues abuso directamente no, pero sí es un factor de control. Y cuando tú empiezas a dejar que una persona te controle, es una manera de empezar a manipularte. Y eventualmente pueda que llegue a ese abuso. Porque una persona controladora, pues mayormente es un factor, es una señal de qué más puede hacer en el futuro. Cuando estamos en una relación, sí tenemos que respetarnos, obvio. Tanto mujer y hombre tenemos que respetarnos. Pero tampoco pierdas tu identidad.
That's right. That's it.
¿Crees?
That's it.
No dejes que nadie te quite tu identidad. And what I mean is, when we're in a relationship, we all respect one another. Female respect the man you're with, and the man the female is with is to respect her as well. Okay, that is the key. But do not allow anyone to make you lose who you are.
That's right.
Who we are is so important. Our personal identity is something that we should not allow another human being to take it away from us.
Yes.
And my thing is, Thelma, when we're in a relationship, isn't it who we are who's supposed to attract that person?
Yes.
And then to take that away, it's like such a negative. It's a double negative for me.
Absolutely. I've begun to understand that it's an oxymoron. My husband at the time, I am proceeding with divorce at this time, but the same reasons that he would say that he fell in love with me, because I was a strong woman and I could command all the attention in the room, and I was very articulate and very boisterous and very beautiful and attractive, is the same reasons that I was getting yelled at, that I was being disrespected for, or you're not submissive enough. You want to talk back. I'm not a child. If I have my opinion, I should have the right to express it.
But the word submissive, it gets taken way out of context.
Well, we know that's
exactly, because
yes.
Submission, it doesn't mean that you allowed anyone to walk over you.
That's right.
When we're in a relationship, yes, we both should be submissive, number one. But anyway, it's more customary that a female becomes submissive, and that goes back to what I said, respect, right? Respecting one another. Talking about the issues at home, working with everything, you being the other half to your partner, but it does not give a man nor a woman the permission to walk over you, to
Absolutely
take
not.
away who you are.
And you know what? A lot of the times, although I say that abuse is never your fault, it's your fault when you give your power away. And that we do as women. Because we're trained, you give your life for your family, you give your life for your marriage, for your home. But we're never taught that it's more than okay, important and necessary to have boundaries, to have standards. That I'm here for you, I'm here for this family, I'm here for this marriage, but what I will not tolerate is this. And a lot of the times people want to speak up about what they're going through, not because they want to talk, put their business out there, but because they need help. And a lot of the times they're shamed for talking about something that's going on, that's hurting them, that's hurting their children. And that's the problem. There's a culture that enables abuse.
Lo que acaba de decir Thelma ahorita es muy poderoso. Y I share that belief with you. Yo comparto lo que acaba de decir porque yo lo he dicho muchas veces y hay personas que me dicen, es fácil decirlo porque tú no has sufrido abuso, pero también como mujeres culturalmente, cuando se dice que una mujer no tiene culpa de ser abusada, sí, nadie tiene culpa de ser abusado, pero sí eres culpable cuando ya te das por completo,
Right.
Cuando le dejas a esa persona, le das el poder a esa persona,
Right.
Que dicte qué va a ser tu vida y qué es lo que tú tienes que hacer y no hacer. Ahí ya estás dando ese permiso. ¿Por qué? Porque la sociedad le dice a una mujer desde chiquita, a muchas mujeres mentalmente se les condiciona a simplemente ser mujeres, amas de casa. Y no podemos vivir de esa manera. Las mujeres de hoy en día siguen esas tradiciones y detesto decir la palabra tradición. I truly hate to use the word tradition, because people use that traditionally, generation to generation, and conditioning a female to simply be a woman, simply be obedient to their husbands, be a mother, be a homekeeper, be a wife, but there's no training to what to do if that man does not treat you well.
That's right.
Okay? I've heard mothers tell their daughters, así son los hombres. That's how men are.
And I tell you that this was one of the main reasons why I had to walk away and I had to speak up, because I have 4 children, 4 beautiful, amazing, talented, intelligent children, and I could not have them no longer thinking that, or being conditioned, because I know abuse comes from learned behavior. I neither wanted them to learn that behavior or for my daughters to believe that it was acceptable for them to be treated that way. So I had to take a stand so that they could understand what is acceptable and unacceptable. You do not have to, cater to a man who doesn't treat you right. You don't have to respect anybody who doesn't treat you with respect. You can simply walk away and disengage. We are not here to be mistreated, to be doormats, to be walked on, and nor to be abused.
Dice Thelma, la fuerza que le dio salir de este matrimonio fueron sus 4 hijos. Ella tiene 4 hermosos hijos, talentosos, bellísimos, y bueno, uno de ellos es mi ahijado, que es el más bello. No, todos son bellos, todos son bellos.
He's my favorite.
Todos son bellos. Pero eso fue lo más importante para ella. Es simplemente que sus hijos no vivan más en ese ambiente, ya de que sabemos que también se aprende. Y se aprende de 2 maneras, Thelma. Porque si no termina siendo abusador o abusadora, terminan siendo víctimas.
Exactamente.
¿Ok? Recuerden que el abuso tiene 2 caras de la moneda. Está el abusador y está la víctima. Entonces, cuando tú creces en un ambiente que es muy abusivo, sea físico, sea mental, sea verbal, donde hay muchos gritos en un matrimonio, en una pareja, los hijos aprenden a mantener eso. Ellos aprenden a hablar a gritos. No pueden mantener una conversación.
They think it's normal.
Yes. Ellos creen que es muy normal. Ellos creen que es muy normal. Thelma, ¿qué mensaje le quieres dar a las mujeres? Pero antes que lleguemos a ese tema, déjame abrir la línea. I'm gonna give you the station number to those of you who are out there listening and might have a question or an encouragement word to Thelma. Again, the same way you survive an illness, this is also a way of surviving, because we all know there is countless women who loses their life so much to domestic abuse. Okay, so I will always look at you as a survivor. I will always look at you as a she-road. Okay, I said that to one of my cousins recently, who, like you, is a survivor. She did everything in her power. She got out of that home. Many of us did not believe it, because we're gonna talk a little more another face to an abuser. Okay, to why a lot of people do not believe that they are an abuser. And like I said, I've lived it up close with people I love, such yourself. So these are the signs that we're going to talk about. That a lot of people always want to hear that man yelling and pulling, and believe me, there's another side to it. Okay, there are those really soft ones. There's those really attentive ones.
Yes,
that you have to watch out for. So, number for the studio, 718-819-7646. 718-819-7646. El número para llamar si usted tiene alguna pregunta, si usted es una mujer o hombre que está viviendo en un abuso doméstico, puede llamar al 718-819-7646, o quiere darle un voto de ánimo, una palabra de inspiración, o compartir un poco con Thelma. Si usted está escuchando algo que le ha tocado el corazón, puede llamarnos al número de teléfono que les acabo de dar, 718-819-7646, 718-819-7646. All calls are welcome. My rule always, let's be respectful.
Amen.
Todas las llamadas son bienvenidas. La única regla que yo siempre tengo, vamos a mantener el respeto. Okay? Okay, I guess we'll come right back on that one.
Okay.